Alright, welcome back to the channel for episode 12. My name is Denny, and today we're going to talk about a technique that not so many YouTube filmmakers talk about. A very secret and cinematic technique. I know people like those words, right? It's actually a simple technique to do that will enhance your frames like instantly and will make your hard light look beautiful. Once you learn it, you'll see it pretty often in movies and series. It will for sure step up your game as a cinematographer and make your images stand out from the YouTube crowd. Alright, did I say it right? Was it too much maybe? But the thing is that all of it is true, and I use it pretty often myself. And the technique we are going to talk about is called Sofhob, which stands for soft on the face and hard on the body. Remember, we are talking about lighting here. The first time I heard someone talk about this was Patrick O'Sullivan from the Wandering DP YouTube channel. And it seems to me that it's a name that it made up, but it's still pretty catchy. And by the way, if you want to get better, you should follow his channel. I have to say it's my personal favorite. And talking about this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to help this channel grow and learn more about cinematography. In every scene of every project ever, you're going to ask yourself, what quality of light is going to better tell the story here? Should you use hard light? Or should you use soft light? Well, what about using both? Hard and soft? Because yes, we can. Sofhob, it's a mixture of hard and soft light, used in order to create a more realistic looking lighting. And the idea is to have a light source which may hit the talent's torso as hard light, and then either use a flag or diffuse a part of the same light to have a more pleasing and flattering look on the talent's face. Because, as you probably know, hard light is not very flattering. And I mean, that happens in real life pretty often. It depends on the angle of where the light is coming from. The sunlight may not always reach your face, or it may reach only a part of your face. It could be because your window is flagging the sunlight, or because there are some obstacles between the light and you. You see, sunlight is not always hitting the perfect place in real life. And if we're capable to take this imperfection and try to replicate it, we can reach more realism in our lighting and step up our game. To me, to be a good cinematographer is to first learn how to light perfectly, but once you got it, the ultimate step is to know how to light with controlled imperfection. And in my opinion, this is what the Sofhob technique is about. And I will explain to you 2 ways to do it. But first, sponsor time.
Et action.
You wanna know a secret that cinematographers don't like to hear? In movies, sound is more important than video quality. Oh, why? Why, man?
I don't like to hear that.
Is that a reason to punch me in the freaking face?
Yeah.
So, I was saying, in movies, sound is more Ouch! You see? This was believable because of sound. If there was no sound, it would feel empty, like this. What the... That's why sound effect is important. It makes a scene more realistic. If you want to know where to find a complete library of sound effects, just go to audio.com. They have great music as well, and even Ants, an AI tool that finds music for you. You just have to describe what you want. Audio.com, the perfect place for your audio.
Audio is the sponsor of this episode. Use the link in the description to get 70% off your first year of Audio Pro. If you listen to anything I've said before, you should have noticed that I already used the Sofhob technique in this scene and in the sponsor scene. Here you can see where the hard light stops. So as we said, hard light hitting the body and soft light for the face, which is the same light but in parts diffused. I will explain how to do it in a few minutes. Then you have another hard light hitting the lower shelf here and a little bit the door behind him. I would have loved to have a more punchy light for this, as in my opinion, this is not strong enough to be called sunlight. And it would have been nice to have another hard light hitting this wall here, but I didn't have any more light, I didn't have the time to elaborate more than I already did. And I guess if I really had time and resources, I would have used a little rim light in here, motivated by this window in the back. That's why I always advise to work with the crew, because by yourself or by a crew of 2 people, as we were here, there's like so much you can do with the time that you have. With the crew, you can fine-tune details and add little spices here and little spices there to make your frames better. I mean, you can really focus on the frame and nothing more. But here it wasn't the case. We had to move really fast, so we went for the simplest. We didn't even use A's. I mean, can you imagine? No A's? That's crazy. The lighting is pretty much the same for this shot. When he falls, the hard light is totally hitting him. But when he comes up, his face is diffused again. And on this shot, you can clearly see what I used to diffuse the light. It's called open-end scream. This one is with artificial silk, and this is the first way to do a Sofhob. You have to use a powerful light and an open-end frame with your favorite diffusion material. The light is passing under the diffusion frame and partially through the diffusion. With this, you can decide where the diffusion begins by tweaking the position of the diffusion. And the open-end part is important. You see here, it has no frame. And it's important because if you use a regular frame, then you will see the shadow of that same frame on your actor. Oh yeah, another important thing to know as well is that the closer the diffusion is to the actor, and the more you can see this line right here, and the softer the light on the actor's face will be. If the diffusion was closer to the light source, then this line will have been less visible and the light less diffused. So keep this in mind. Alright, so this is the first technique, diffusing only a part of your light. In my opinion, this will be the easiest method as it requires only one light. The only downside is that unless you have a lot of different diffusion material for your open screen, you are not really able to control the difference of exposure between your hard and soft part of the light. In my example, I have only an artificial silk, which means that I'm stuck with this difference in exposure. So let's illustrate the first method. We use a powerful key light. Here I'm using the Zhiyun 500B, which is pretty powerful, hitting the subject directly. We add an open-end screen that we place closest to the subject to have this pretty cool division between hard and soft light. If I take the open-end screen closer to the light source, the division is softer here, so we don't see the line we had just before, and the light on my face is less soft, just as we said. Alright. Now that we learned this method, let's have a look at the second way to do a Sofhob, which is simply to light your subject with a soft light, as you usually would, and then to hit your subject with a controlled slash of light, coming from the same direction. But this technique requires at least 2 different lights. But I mean, you have full control of the level of the face, independently of the fake sunlight. So let's recreate this. I'm using the Zhiyun G200 with a big softbox for the soft key light. Then I take the Zhiyun 500B coming from the same direction, with a projector mount, in order to shape the sun slash exactly as I want it. And actually, if you don't have a projector mount, well, you don't need it. You can shape the light with flags. And this is a better option in my opinion, because now you can control the exposure level between the light slash and the actor's face. And more control is always better. Let's say I want the face brighter. I can raise up the exposure on my soft light. So, as we said, you have more control if you compare it to the first way to do the Sofhob. I mean, both techniques work. It just depends on how much control you need, how much time you have, and if you have a crew or not. One is not better than the other. It's just a question of resources and control. So yeah, here you go, the Sofhob technique. I hope you learned something, and I think this is something that can really spice up your frame and giving it another dimension. So go try it by yourself. As usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and to comment to help the channel with the algorithm thing. Yeah, alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!